Good morning, YouTube. William here. Working today on the New Holland 316 wire tie baler. You can see it's exploded. Nothing so far has really scared me on the project. I know Chucky 2009 said this was quite an animal to pull this plunger. I had mine out in 15 minutes. Your experience may differ. My first problem that I have found was, one, I had this bearing out. Not a big deal. You do have to pull the plunger to get it out. Not very scared so far. Was just reinstalling my first new bearing, about $500 worth of bearings to get the plunger completely redone. Some of them are still good, but my parts guy said that anytime they do a baler, if they pull the plunger, they put all new bearings on, because this bearing is slightly smaller than your new bearing you put here, and then obviously they had two bearings here for a reason, so this one's doing more work. The year after that, you get to replace two more anyway. So, pulling the plunger arm was nothing. I used this bale wire here to just pull it up so it didn't get snagged on anything while I was pulling it out of the chamber. And like I said, I had mine out in 15 minutes. I did have to pull the little side skirt triangles that make your bales pack tighter. Let's see if I can find one here. Right here. Nothing to it. Two 9/16 headed bolts. And got a new knife. This was $60. The biggest problem I've seen so far, don't know how well it'll turn up, stress fracture. There it is. Camera refocused. Stress fracture right there. I'm not scared at all. I'm a very good welder, so gonna clean that up and throw a bead on it, start reassembling and shoving it back in. This is the culprit we were going after. Should not do that. And there is one machined off-center bearing here. I have this new. They said there was two of these, and I have not seen the other one yet. So that is a little disturbing, but it's nothing I can't overcome. What you do with this is, it goes up into this slot, and then you will adjust this, turning it out, of course, since this is machined off-center, until it is riding nicely along the edge of the baling chamber. We decided to go with the new knife because the guy that had this before us, the knife, in my opinion, is not really in that bad a shape. Right here, this chip is where we actually ran a tractor pin through it. Got left in the field, you know, what do you do? Probably fell off a tractor. This was $60, and the guy that we bought it from bought the baler new and did 10,000 bales a year. So that is where we're at. I'm gonna just keep diving right in, and we'll bring you along for the ride. So far, I haven't found anything that has scared me to death on this project. The reason we started on this project was one of our bale wire idlers that is underneath of the baling chamber split in two just from wire rubbing on it that long. The baler was still functioning until this happened. It was hammering quite loudly because this bearing was out, but it was still functioning and baling. All right, first one installed. On to the next one once it's cool enough to touch. Then we're gonna get up to these here, down here, there. And the last thing to go on will be our knife inside the baler, because I don't want to be playing around with a brand new sharp knife. This here is definitely old and dry. I don't know how long they would run, but it's better to just do them now instead of re-pull it when you're in the middle of a hay season and rain's coming in. Okay, we're back working on the baler today. I'm installing my stationary knife. It's been about a week since you were last with us. Just finished shining all of my shims. You don't want to do too much with emery cloth. This knife, I would say, is about the same as the one I took out on the plunger. So they were either both done at the same time or they've never been done. The plunger installation was very easy. Just followed the book cut and dried. So far I haven't found any problems. I do have to get those bearings right there up on the rub rail. But other than that, everything is in adjustment. And now we're going to put the stationary knife in these 3 holes here, and we'll bring you along. I'm going to set up the shims the way they had them, just to test. I can always pull them back out if it makes the knife out of kilter. But a nifty trick, take a little bit of axle grease, dab it on there, and then while you're working by yourself, they will stay in position. And what's it going to hurt to have a little dab of axle grease in there? Alright YouTube, we made our final adjustment. We had to shim this out, and now I have 20 thousandths down here, 15 right there, and 15 up there. I'm kind of laying in here on the wire rack on top of a board, so once again I apologize for the shoddy camera work. This should wrap this up. I'm going to adjust these within 10 thousandths of the rub rail up there. That'll be an easy adjustment. All in all, I would not be afraid to do this on your own baler. As long as you follow the book, it's pretty self-explanatory. We'll see you next time. Alright YouTube, it appears to be working. We've got 5 acres down. Got our bale counter zeroed out. Not hammering. Kind of an interesting view if you've never seen one. Everything appears to be working. We'll bring you along for the ride and see if an old Wildcat can work on a baler or not. Our first 12 bales with no incident, stacking them right onto the wagon. We're going to bale up this 5 acres, and we'll check back in with you. Okay, I apologize for the shoddy camera work, but I don't have a gimbal. We've got almost a completely full trailer, not much more. And we're baling at about 2.3. I'm up a gear right now. Doing an excellent job. We have had a couple that the wires would break on one side and then the other on the next bale. It was kind of weird, but it seems to have come out of it. I don't know if that's because that bale wire got a little rain on it or what. Appears to be doing excellent. We'll check back in with you later. These aren't the largest windrows in the world, but they are double and appear to be doing all right. I know that's the famous last words. I don't like the bale at a full 540 because I just feel like it's a little hard on the baler and it doesn't make it perform any better because the flywheel is a flywheel is a flywheel. I've slowed down a little bit. We're doing 1.4 mile an hour because the baler was outrunning my stackers. So it's a hot day. There's a heat advisory in effect, so they're out there on the in the hot sun and I'm in the cab, so might as well make it easier on them. Baler has done over 120 with no mishaps, and we're on our final patch of the field. So we will check in with you when the baling is all done. Figured I would get some actual hay baling sound. All right, 250 bales in the barn. I'm going to count this repair a success. Good tight bales. They aren't all shaggy on the sides, and our wire is nice and tight, so we must not have messed up too bad. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. We'll see you next time.